Activity 3. Exploring labor market trends in Canada. We are going to download data as usual from this particular site. I've just copied it and I've already opened it. So what do we want? We want to get data for participation rate, employment rate, unemployment rate, and we will examine it for the past 5 years. So just look at what I'm doing and let it help you do what you need to do. Take a look at the document and let's go to where, let's just copy that link, and then this is the site. So it may take a few seconds to load, but that's fine. I'm going to scroll down to where we have, where is it? Labor market indicators. Click on it. Just make sure it loads. Click on download data. And once you do that, it's going to download into your download folder. Now I'm going to open a blank Excel workbook. And once I open my workbook, I will go to data, go to get data. I want to get my data from my download folder, and it's a CSV file. Download folder, that's the data. Click on import, and it's going to give you the possibility to take it into Power Query. I'll take transform data, and once I have my data, the first thing I want to make sure is that it's properly formatted. Here I want to make sure it's in the form of date. So you can see the icon that's there. If you click on it, if it's not date, just make sure it's date. Okay, if it's not, click on date. Generally it should do it. Region, you absolutely want your region to be ABC, the indicator ABC, sex ABC, group ABC. So generally you have no problems here. Now this is where you have to be very careful. Once you get here, you want to make sure that this is 1.2. In other words, you want to make sure it's decimal number. So I'm going to click here to make sure it becomes decimal. And once I do that, I'll say yes, add a new step. And it's going to add a new step. And here it's telling me, so basically if you don't have this profiler on, just go to view, click column quality, and you are going to have that. Let me just show you. If I click here, it's gone, and if I check it, it comes. So it's telling me there's an error of less than 1%. So if I scroll down, you'll see that there is something that looks like an error here. This is not significant. It cannot really affect our analysis, so we'll let it go because it's really not much. If we want to deal with it, we may ask it to remove it. Okay, so it's telling us that we have such a value. Okay, so once you have that, that's it. If you have errors here, if this doesn't work, if you can't have 1.2, it's absolutely important that you use the computers at the college, else when you move on with your analysis, things will not work for you. Okay, let's click on home, the home ribbon, close and load to, just leave the default. Okay, and it takes a few seconds because this data set is a bit large. Now we have it. So there are a number of things we will do. When we pivot this, we will try to answer basically the first question we have here. So it says choose an age group and sex. So age group, you want to do your analysis by age group. You want to do your analysis by sex. And of course, we have to choose the region. So given that we are in Quebec, we are going to do the comparison of age groups in Quebec, and we'll do the comparison of sexes in Quebec. And we'll do it by unemployment rate, and we'll also do it by participation rate. So let's go for it. So I'll click there anywhere inside. Go to Insert, Pivot Table. If you have Pivot Table here directly, just click Pivot Table. If you don't have it, click from Table Range. And do not click anything, just go to OK. Okay, don't mess up with any of these things. Click OK. And voila, there we have a pivot table. One thing you will always do is to make sure you take value and put it where you have values. Click on value, drag and drop it where you have values. Click on top of it, value field settings, take average. So it's very important because we want to see the average. If you leave the sum, you are going to get wrong values. So take average. Number format, make sure you take number. Make sure you have 2 decimal places. OK and OK. Now, the first thing we want to do is to simply insert a number of slicers and dates, then we will proceed to whatever analysis we want to do. So we will go to Pivot Table Analyze. I'll click on it. I'll say Insert Slicer. The first slicer, I want region. I'll click on it and I'll OK. Here we have our first slicer. I'll put it here. I'll come back and click on this number so that our pivot table will come back. Go to Pivot Table Analyze, Insert Slicer. I want indicator. And actually we can just check all of it. Sex, age group, OK. So we have all of those slicers here. We are going to be using them in a very beautiful way. And finally, I'll click there again, Pivot Table Analyze, Insert Timeline. Timeline only exists for date. Now, what's the use of the timeline? It will enable us to do analysis just for the past 5 years. I'll go to months. Here you have the drop down, click on it and check yes. So I want the past 5 years. I'll click on 2024, click there and drag and take the past 5 years. Actually, I'll go all the way to 2019. Then we can see what's going on. Okay. I'll place it here depending on your screen size. Now I'll come back and click here and we can start with the analysis proper. Okay, this is very straightforward, but you have to be careful. So the first thing, you'll click on date, drag and drop it where you have rows. You always want your date by that. And the next thing you want to do is to go and get the age group. You want your analysis by age group. So I am going to click on age group. I'll drag it. I'll drop it where we have columns. Now you can see the different age groups. However, the things are not the way we really want it to be. Once we have, okay, let me click here to be able to, I need to be able to rearrange the position of my things. Let me close this. I don't need it. Else I may not be able to see things very well. Let me just reposition it. Okay, here we go. If I click here, everything comes back. Now, one thing I want to do, I first want to choose the province. We are in Quebec, so when I come into this slicer of regions, I can click on Quebec. You can see things are adjusting for Quebec. The next thing, I simply want to analyze unemployment, so I will click on unemployment. I want to do my analysis by both sexes. I'll click on both sex. And I want to take a look at the age group 15 to 24. I'll click on 15 to 24. So here we are seeing 15 to 24. Now it's good because here it says you should choose age groups. So we are going to take 2 age groups. That's what we will do. So I'll take 15 to 24. I will hold down Control on my keyboard and I will take another age group. I'll take let's say 25 to 54. I'll click on that and release the keyboard. Now if you choose an age group and it doesn't give you anything, it means the data doesn't exist. So here we can see an analysis for those 2 age groups, but you don't just want it to be like that. You want a chart. I'll click on that, pivot table analyze, and go to pivot chart. Now the instructions tell you to generate a line chart and a column chart to be able to explore unemployment rates for the groups over the past 5 years. So if I come here, I have my column chart. I'll say, okay, here I have my column chart. So this is my first chart. The second one, I want the line chart. So I'll click here again, pivot table analyze, pivot chart. Now I want line, I will okay, and I'll place it there. Now for the line chart, I don't just want it to look like this. I will extend it and then I want to expand it. It's very important that you be able to expand it so that you can see how things are changing across the years. Okay, that's a bit too much. I'll keep it like that. Now here I did not want the expansion, but it expanded because it's linked, because the data here is changing as that is happening. So generally the best way is to reduce it, leave it as it is, take this into Word. So if I open my Word document, a blank Word document, copy this file, I'll copy it with Control C, go to the Word document and paste it. I want to paste it as an image. So I'll go to paste and make sure I'm pasting it as a picture. Why is that important? It's because when you paste it as a picture, there's no chance of it changing because it's no more linked to this file. So I'll click here, make sure I come here, choose that, make sure it's fixed position so that I can move it around. I can manipulate it at ease. Okay, so I can now come here and then expand, and it's not going to affect the other one. Basically, I can click here and hit delete because I already have it there, and then I can do Control C to copy it, go to my Word document. Hopefully nothing has changed. You can see it's there as we want. Paste now. Hold on, what's that? Let me copy this. Copy. Come here. I want to paste it like an image. Okay, here I should be able to manipulate it. I'll first take that. I'll double click on it. Go to, no, I don't really want to copy it. I just want to reduce the size so that it can fit my page. Et voila. So now basically I have that. This is the situation in Quebec by age group. So you can compare how things are changing across the years by age group. Now, if we come now, we no more want to do our analysis by age group. We want to do it by sex. Okay, we want to do it by sex. So I will take 15 years and over, and then by sex, I want to take the 2 sex. I want male and female. Now, for that to be helpful, I need to come here and remove age group. I'll click, drag it and drop it here. Remove age group, and then take by sex and place it where we had columns. Now I can come, click on female, hold down Control key, click on male. Now what have we just done? We've chosen both sexes. We can see them in columns, and we know it's taking the unemployment rate for 15 years and above. Okay, so let's just make sure what we have here did not change. Very well, because we pasted it as an image, so that's why we did not have any problems. So now you have the one for sex, and you can basically come, click there, go to pivot table analyze, pivot chart. You now want a column. Okay, so you can do exactly the same thing that we did. You don't want to keep things like this, so you want to copy and paste this like an image, and then come and reduce this. You don't want it expanded. You want to keep it as simple as that. Okay, so don't leave this chart like this. It's important that this particular one, the line chart, you expand, but the column chart, you leave it as it is. So that is your analysis for unemployment rate. Now you can see that across the years, you can see what group, this shows you the trend, what group consistently have more unemployed or more people searching for a job but cannot find it. Now the last analysis you are required to do is to click on participation rate, and it's going to show you participation rate. Now it's important for you to try to understand what participation rate really means. Check what it means, then you will be able to interpret this chart. So this is the last group of charts you will place, because here it basically told you need unemployment rate by age group and by sexes. You've done those two, so that gives you basically 4 charts. So one line chart and one column chart by age group, one line chart, one column chart by sexes, and finally it says repeat the same analysis for participation rate. So basically you should have 8 charts. Now this particular part, do not do it, let this go, do not do it. But if you really want to know how to do it, let me know and I'll show you how to do it. But this part, you can just say that's it. You don't need to do it. Now try to answer these questions and write it in your Word document. Okay, try to answer it. Use whatever information is out there. Try to answer it, but always keep in mind that you want to provide your analysis thinking, why is this relevant to industry or to society? Okay, have fun doing it.